Hey Rebirth family, I hope all is well with you. I hope you are having a great new year so far. Although it's just another day and it's just another day to be a better you. Hopefully I don't get emotional during this video. But I just watched the sequel of Annie, where it was Jamie Foxx in there, Cameron Diaz, and the little black girl with the fro, right? I don't even remember watching the old Annie. I'm sure I've watched it before, but I just took the time to watch this one. I've watched it before, but now that I am walking with Christ and I see things completely different now, it just touched my heart, like, in a whole nother way. And now that, like, I don't know when the last time I watched this was, but now I'm a mom, and it's just like, my heart was tied to it. Like, my son went to sleep. I turned it on for us, but he went to sleep. I was like, yeah, I'm just gonna sit and watch this movie uninterrupted. So Annie, if you are not familiar with Annie the movie, Annie was a foster kid, and she lived in a foster home with her foster mother, who was Miss Flanagan, I believe, and she had maybe like 5-ish foster sisters, and they hated it there with her. They, oftentimes talked about reuniting with their parents and just wanting a home to call their own. Annie, this bold little black girl, would just make friends around the city and just go out and do what her little heart desired, what she was passionate about. She was passionate about finding her parents, and she made friends that would help her get her the things that she needed. She was very resourceful. I think she was 10 years old. She went to the library, or she went somewhere to find out if she could locate her parents. And the lady wasn't able to find anything, so Annie was headed back to her foster home, and she was running, and she was about to get ran over by a van, and Jamie Foxx, who was supposed to be the mayor, or who was running for mayor of the city, saved her from being hit by the van. And somebody caught a picture of it, and it blew up. It was everywhere. Initially, like, his campaign manager, who had no heart at all, who was like the enemy of this world, the government, anyways, kind of just wanted it to be a publicity stunt, like get him votes and get him seen, pretty much, with this girl. But kids are just so loving. They have a way of teaching us things and opening us up and making us more caring, more loving, more compassionate, and just more true to who God created us to be within. And so Jamie Foxx was just all about work, all about work. And one thing he said within the video, he was like, he barely knew his dad. His dad worked every day. He worked all the time. He didn't really know him. And his dad died when he was 12. So, like, he thought if he worked hard like his dad did, it would bring him closer to his dad. And I'm sure that's how it is for, I'm going to say, a lot of black men. A lot of black men, that is how they think. That is how they feel. And they don't really connect with the inside of them. They don't really connect with the inner feelings, the inner soul connection that God has truly given them. God has given us both masculine and feminine traits and qualities and characteristics. A lot of men shy away from that, don't even tune into that, because it's been so criticized upon, especially among the black community. Basically, as Jamie Foxx was spending more time with this little girl, he was really, like, finding himself again. Like, he was turning into a completely different person. His heart was opening up, and he didn't really have anybody he could call family or any people. And Annie was like, well, you got me, and that was just, and I sit and I just look at my baby. I'm like, that's like how I've felt so many times, to where, you just don't feel like people are understanding of you. But this child who doesn't know anything that you've been through, like, they just know that you're there, and they make you feel appreciated and loved and valued and cared for. I'm gonna continue on with the story. Let's continue on with the story. Then Jamie Foxx, like, as time is going on, he's like, what's going on with Annie? Like, how can we see if I can adopt her? Basically, the campaign manager went to her foster mother and was like, we got to do something quick, because he felt that Jamie Foxx was kind of getting soft on him, okay? And so he and the foster mother agreed at first to find fake parents for Annie so that they could take her away until Jamie Foxx was voted mayor, right? So it would bring his heart back, kind of snatch him back up and hurt him pretty much, so that he can get back to work. And this literally is what happens. Like, where men are supposed to be in touch with their kids. You know what I'm saying? Men are supposed to, but society tells men, basically says that men are supposed to work and women are supposed to take care of the kids and do everything for the kids. When no, it is a partnership. And I'm going to get to at the end to where there was 3. Like, it's a partnership of 3 that work together, and the 3 do not work without each other. The child is supposed to open the man up so he can be all he needs to be for the woman, and then the woman submits to this man because he's willing to, soften up for her. So she's willing to do whatever is needed of her to be done. And that is what God is bringing forth with these kingdom marriages and these kingdom unions and kingdom families, okay? Anyways, keep going forward. The foster mother and the campaign manager plot to bring Annie's fake parents, and Jamie Foxx is hurt. Like, he's supposed to be running for mayor and he is hurt. They end up signing the papers away so she could go with the parents, and they were going to take her out of the country to Brazil. Jamie Foxx just kind of snapped back into work mode. You know what I'm saying? To make it seem like, oh, I'm not hurt, and shake this off and keep going, keep it pushing. But he was hurt. The couple took Annie and they was driving, I guess, to the airport, and Annie just kept looking out the window because she figured out, because they wasn't treating her right. So she figured out that they were not her parents. And oh my God, that just brings me somewhere else. That's like our generation. It's kind of why we feel as though our parents are not our parents is because they didn't do the necessary work needed to care for us in the way that God intended them to care for us.
So what I'm about to say is going to sound totally crazy, but maybe I am crazy, but just stick with me. So imagine that you're 2 years old and you get stolen from your family. The person that stole you wants you to believe that they are your real family. So they hide you in hopes that your real family never finds you. They manipulate you and make you believe a lie. So you go on through life as normal. You do all the things that any other child would do, and you're generally a happy child that knows no better. Fast forward, and now you're 18. Now that you're an adult, the person that stole you can't control you really anymore. They try, but you have a mind of your own now, and you start to venture off and do your own thing. The social media is a thing, right? So you decide to create social media profiles. So one day, the family that you were stolen from sees your social media profiles. And after looking at your profiles and doing some digging, they realize that you were the child that was stolen from them. So they contact you. They tell you that you were stolen from them. And you think that this is the craziest thing ever, right? So they start showing you proof, like baby pictures, birth certificates. And suddenly your whole world is turned upside down. You can't deny the baby pictures, but it's still so hard for you to comprehend because the life that you're currently living is the life that you've always known. Even though you have the truth right in front of your face, it's so hard to accept it. But you can't deny it, so you start to ask questions. The more questions that you ask, the more truth is revealed. And suddenly there's a spark in your heart because what you've always known in your heart, even if you didn't know it up here, what you've always known in here is suddenly revealed. And that previous life that you were living, you realize what a sham it was. Your whole world has changed, but now you're living in truth. This story is what it's like when you come to God. The entity that rules this world does not want you to know who you really are. They want to drag you down with them. So the powers that be are constantly working to keep you from the truth. We are living in a false reality. Everything you know is a lie. Everything is a distraction. Hollywood, music, food, medicine, this entire system. But God has given you your baby picture. That is the Bible. That is the proof. Once you start to truly look at the Bible with an open heart, life just changes. You realize that this is true. As much as it throws your current reality for a loop, you know in your heart it's true. And once you accept it, you're free, truly free. It's a freedom that you can never experience in this world. It's a truth that you can never experience in this world. You realize that God, Yahweh, and Jesus, Yeshua, are your family, and they've been trying to contact you all along.
But anyways, let's keep going. So yeah, Annie figured out these are not my parents. And so she kept tapping on the window because she knew people recognized her because she's been with the possible mayor. So she just tapping on the window, making sure people notice her. She's like, hey, help, help. And so they were able to track her. Jamie Foxx was able to track her. And also the foster mother, she was like, how did I get so cold? Like, she started feeling bad because she was like, are those even her parents? Like, she's still a little girl. Like, where are they taking her? What did I do? And so she got her foster girls together, and some other community person that Annie was close to. She got them all, and they went and met with Jamie Foxx. They were like, those are not her parents. I can't believe I did that. We got to save her, pretty much. So they tracked her down, and Annie felt as if, the parents kind of the fake parents led her to believe that Jamie Foxx has set her up. But the enemy tried to make it seem like the person who is truly caring for her, the person who changed their heart for her, set her up. And she was like, he wouldn't do that to me. Like, and then she was getting hurt. She was like, dang, I can't trust nobody. You know what I'm saying? Like, I trusted this person, and honestly, I just can't trust anybody. So at the end, he was like, I don't know how to explain it to you, but I did not even know that these were not your parents. And the news was there and everything. So he went and he was like, I am taking myself out of the mayoral race. Somebody will be better for this than me. And I want to focus on things that are more important. And he was like, Annie, that's my family. So God is just telling me, like, kingdom families are coming together. And this is why the shift in the world is so heavy right now, because the love and the partnership and union, just genuine unconditional love that these kingdom families will share is just gonna, slowly open the hearts of others that see it, that get to witness it. And prayerfully, people's hearts begin to open. People begin to realize that kids are the prize. Like, the pureness, they come straight from God. And the more that they're able to be who God called them to be and don't have to shift and bend to what society wants them to be, or bend and shape to what their family wants them to be, they can just be who God created them to be. This is why God is calling forth individuals and couples who are rooted and grounded in a foundation of Christ in the Bible, or the principles of the Bible. This is just a blessing. This is just truly a blessing. Throughout that movie, I'm just like, Annie was 10. She was so bold and confident and courageous and just uplifting people. And she still was broken inside. Like, she still just wanted to have her parents, wanted somewhere to call home, wanted to, just kept hoping for a better tomorrow. But she was bringing so much light and joy to others. And this is a reason why not only did God lead me, well, no, it was God led. I'm not even gonna put it into, it was God led that I quit my job to solely focus on my son, because this job is not more important than you. Like, seeing you happy is what makes me happy. If I have to wear the same 5 shirts and 3 pairs of pants, or whatever the case, I will do that just so that I can nurture you, and you know that someone is always going to be there for you, and you don't have to learn through all these strangers and be all around all these strangers. And that's not what God intended for us. God intended, like, what people call family is not family. It's worldly family. It's fleshly. I don't want to go too far into it because this video is already long. But
as for these parents, especially who have been through traumas, and they're doing the same things to their kids, you make your kids yes men, and then as soon as they get older and they go out into this world and they're getting yelled at their managers, and they're getting abused in relationships, or they don't know how to speak up for themselves because as a child they never got the ability to actually voice who they are, voice their opinion, express the spiritual energy that they have. They never had that chance to. So when you get older, you are stuck in a cycle of constantly doing what other people say and not actually taking in what your purpose is, standing on your ground, standing in your life. You know, you got everybody telling you what to do. You can't think for yourself. That all started as a child.
I've learned so much from my child, and I've also grown to not accept certain things because of my child. Just because, I've been through my own trauma and I don't want to repeat it. And if there are people around me, or there are people that are blood related, or whatever the case, and you are so caught up on the outside look of things, walking by sight and not by faith, I don't know what to tell you. I don't know, because my child is a happy child, okay? And if no fear is instilled into him about where he is or who he's around, or he is going to be himself. He is going to be content. He's going to be happy. Okay? When people start taking possession and putting so much control, kids feel all of that. And me becoming new in Christ has called me back to the true, pure feelings that I felt when I was a kid, that I've overlooked, because I've been in contact with so many traumatic people in my life that it just, red flags were normal to me. It's just like, oh, it's okay, everybody's hurting. But no, you don't have to accept certain things. This brings me back to like Annie, the lady. That's another key right there. Okay, so the lady, Miss Flanagan, her foster mother, was just so miserable. She wanted to be something hot and popping in the world, and she was just so miserable at where she was in her life that she treated these little girls terribly. And she, trying to come up and trying to be money hungry, she was really about to risk, basically sell her soul for some money, and really just turning in this little girl, pretty much, and trying to make this little girl miserable because she was miserable. And God convicted her. I'm gonna say God, it was just a movie, but God convicted her and changed her heart. I've been, ever since I was young, because I just felt so much hurt. I felt so much pain and so much oppression around me, so much trauma around me, that I always wanted to make people feel good, because, we're here. We're here, and if I'm spending time with someone, I want you to be feeling good, as if I'm feeling good. You know what I'm saying? I want you to be happy. But God is truly correcting me, and he's like, no, like, you're trying to do my job. You're trying to do my job, and that's going to get you caught up, sis. Like, let me do me. You pray for them. You love them. You care for them. But you don't let them ruin you or ruin your child. You let me take care of that. And that is what I'm going to do. Surrender. So I love God so much. And I'm so grateful for this new view and outlook on life that I have. And no, every day is not bubbly sunshine. This walk is not for the weak, but it is beautiful, amazing, and it feels so good. So I just pray that everybody gets their connection with our Heavenly Father, and just know that Jesus Christ truly came to save us from every hurt, every pain, every sacrifice that had to be made early on. We don't have to endure that. We can live out our truth, speak our truth, be love, and let that be that, and let God do the rest. Okay? We apply God's principles and we leave the rest to Him. I just pray that everybody stay blessed, stay in your Bible, and I'm trying to do better with loving with respect, because like I've always had a hard time even just speaking up. Even though others might have been hurting me, I wasn't at the level to understand truly that I could have boundaries. And yeah, I was a child. So you listen to authority, you listen to whoever's in charge. But now that I'm older, I understand. And now that I have a child, I understand that you can speak the truth with respect and still love whoever you're talking to. But don't allow disrespect to happen to you. No matter who the person might be to you, if you feel it's disrespectful, if it doesn't feel good to you, speak it. Let it be and leave it where you're comfortable. And let God handle the in-betweens and the behind the scenes. So I hope this message truly reaches whoever it needs to reach. I pray that you all stay blessed, you stay just in love, and keep God first.